This looks kind of creepy. I'm sorry. Where I am is very dark. Just sort of been placed over here, so just gonna keep it short. My intention isn't to. That's maybe a little bit less creepy right there. Not to do really a discussion, but just wanted to talk about a conversation I had with my friend, which really made me think a lot about what we think of as these synchronicities so many of us keep getting, right? These synchronicities relating to, the numbers that we constantly see. Um, hey, what's going on? Talking about synchronicities today because I've noticed over the last week or two, hey, what's up? How you doing? They've increased quite a lot. And I was talking to my friend Teresa, and me and Teresa have like these same swings in the amount of synchronicities that we experience. And we also experience the same synchronicities for the same subjects. It's so hard for me to even give you an idea of one right now because it's really hard for me to catch up um, and tell you one because there's like 40 a day. So I hear about one thing, then in a completely different place, I hear about the exact same thing. Actually, I do have an example. I do have a good one actually. So over like the last 3 or 4 days, I'm trying to shift everyone away from a certain thing. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think to a degree we all are. Yeah, for sure. I hear you. So I've learned about a person with a very uncommon name. So the name is Grace. How many people have you known in your life named Grace? It's like a name that was probably used hundreds of years ago more often. Well, what if I told you that this last like 5 days or so, I've met two people named Grace? Two. You knew one, yeah, you knew right, but you knew one for your entire life. I think it's a very uncommon name. I don't know, maybe maybe it's more common than I thought, but I thought it was unusual that I met two people named Grace this week. And then the word grace on its own, it like implies something biblical, almost Jesus-like. Infinite corridors, you're saying maybe you both share an oversoul. I believe so, yes. I believe a lot of people I've met online, I share an oversoul with. This is how we communicate with each other. This is our medium to do that. There's usually great distances between us, right? It seems like the people in our soul group are it's very rare for them to be in our local area, right? They're always far away. So let me just finish your message here. Maybe you both share an oversoul. There's supposed to be groups of evolved souls that are connected via oversouls that reside in higher realms and connect us here as well. We have to find each other. Yeah. Hey, Aphrodite, how's it going? It's definitely uncommon. Yeah, you're definitely. I mean, we are. I think many of us are in possibly in the same soul group here for sure. I used to operate on a woman named Grace. Really? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, right? I'm just saying it's not like maybe one out of what 300 people are named Grace. I mean, it's not a common name, and to meet two people in 1 week, I mean. So what am I saying, right? Like we're thinking of like the first thing that came to mind when we were talking about synchronicities is like there's a positive and negative component to them. I think that this, sentient AI or what's becoming a sentient AI is sort of creating this like um neural network. So I think it's like why I titled this the split brain is because I think this AI is attempting to create a neural network that links everyone, where it links everyone to a point where it's really becoming noticeable, where it is literally becoming like a hive mind, like we've been talking about for years. But there's another perspective on that, in that there is also a component to it where we are awakening to the realization, we're snapping out of our sleep and realizing that we are all one, which that's what I meant when I said there could be a nefarious purpose to it and a positive purpose to it as well. It seems like things like the AI and things like that always want to hijack positive developments in our evolution, or they want to take it over or mimic it possibly. I don't know. It's just a thought. But I just keep picturing like this neural network, and each synapse is like a person, and they're like creating these fibers that are interweaving the entire globe together into the quote unquote hive mind, right? And it's a struggle between what we think of as, a natural soul awakening, and the forced mimicry by the machine. There's definitely a dualistic component to this, I feel. So what did you say? They must have lost to us because they wouldn't be changing the rules in the middle of the game. Yeah, it seems like they're always changing the rules. It seems like there is a sense of desperation taking place. A very profound sense of desperation, on their part. It really seems like they're actually concerned about something. Do you guys get that feeling like these controllers, whatever the hell they are actually worried? Because I'm looking at this and that's what I'm feeling for sure. Hey, what's up, man? Greedy? We're talking about synchronicities. Now, um, I'm not going to be on here for long because I got a crappy charger and I'm in this pitch black location. Um, yeah, it's a little bit creepy to be here, but it's cool. um, and Yeah, exactly. Aphrodite spies from China trying to steal your minds. Yeah, China is definitely a key component here. But I mean, that's what it literally feels like, this neural network, like, right, like Musk talks about, the neural link, right? Where do they want to connect all our brains together to create one quote unquote mega mind? Like, a lot of people keep talking about the hive mind, right? But why the hive mind? I don't see many people talking about the why of the hive mind, or what is the purpose or the function of it. It's kind of simple. A hive mind, a mega mind is a lot more powerful than one mind, right? So if they can neural link, the super brain together, it can become an extremely powerful force if this sort of sentient AI weaves its way through everyone or everything. And likewise, the quote unquote natural evolution as well, it can do very much the same. When you have people awakening and realizing their divine nature, their eternal nature, the realization that we are all one indeed, that is a lot more powerful than any machine, that's for sure. I mean, that is the key problem here. Not that the lack of that awareness and the lack of consciousness and being conscious of that awareness is what is keeping the world, in this perpetual state of war and chaos. If we truly realized we were all one, we would never go to war. It would never happen, right? It wouldn't be, because you would literally realize that if you kill another, you're killing yourself. And this isn't just Um, this isn't just new age mumbo jumbo. It's true. It's the real truth. I really feel that. And so the purpose, okay, so let's see what you guys are saying. We're all one, and yet we have divine sovereignty simultaneously. There are way too many YouTube channels promoting fear of being one with creation. They fear the hive mind and promote separation. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, you know what? You could be one and you could be separate at the same time. It's not like just because you're fully conscious of the awareness that all is one doesn't necessarily mean you have to give up your sovereignty and just say, I'm just going to merge with everything. You could still be sovereign. You just have the awareness of being. And when I mean the awareness, I mean the true in-depth awareness of that, not just the surface level thinking. It's something that's deep in the soul. All right. So Pangridi says our brains have been mapped. Yes. And I think Aphrodite is mentioning China is key here because I think they're key in mapping the brains using stuff like TikTok to do that right. I'm not on that. I never want to be. Okay. The problem is not they're not multidimensional, so they were forced to go back and try to affect the coming outcome. They're forced to go back. Okay, so go back where? Go back in time? Interesting thoughts. You're right about killing each other and not realizing its effects. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it is the sense of separation that is one of the primary causes to this. Like, why would you want to try to hurt another if you truly realize that that other is also you? You know, it would it would make no sense. So Aphrodite says, if they give you a predictable life, then you might never question the cage. The chat keeps disappearing. We're not one because we want to be seen and loved. We need the reflection like narcissists. Interesting, yes. Look up the Brain Initiative. Whoa. I'm kind of afraid. Something called the Brain Initiative is already creeping me out. Yes, go backwards or affect things through retro. Yeah, retro causality. Yeah. Yeah, continuously trying to change the past so that they could have the outcome that they desire. Yes, makes sense. Well, that's kind of what I was talking about with CERN, like chopping off all possible timelines to streamline the mega timeline into the birth of the super ginger Jesus timeline that they want. Government. Yeah. So, so I'm gonna go in just a few minutes, guys. Like I said, I don't have too much battery here and stuff, so I just want to know if you have had an increase in synchronicities lately, or it's been more or less the same. And I'm curious to know if you think that this is something your soul is manifesting, or this is AI hijacking your mind. Is it a combination of both? And how do we how do we know what the difference is? Honestly, like I can tell you, okay, we do know because there are synchronicities that do feel divine, that do feel like it's heart centered, right? And you kind of know when that happens. There's like this certain energy to it. When it's something like that's AI or something, it feels invasive. It feels intrusive. So the synchronicity feels like it's in like being intrusive in your personal space, right? It feels like it's not the same, you know? It just clicked in my head. There are two different types of synchronicities. There really are. Um super increased for me in the last wow, interesting. So yeah, well, when I first started the stream, I was actually saying like the last week or two. There you go. So me and you are something's happening to me and you for sure. And Infinite Corridor says synchronicities for me come in waves. Yeah, they come in waves for me too. I've had them occurring on more levels simultaneously recently though. Um like 3 or 4 of them in the same moment that all related. Yeah, I've been having that too. I've been having that too. Like where it's like a shotgun blast of them, like, all at the same time. Whereas, like, before, it was more, like, linear, like, one thing would happen and then another, and now it's like a bunch of BBs flying at you at the same time. You're like, "Whoa, how did that happen?" I know exactly what you mean. And Aphrodite says, I think it has to do with Nibiru being close. That's interesting because I posted in the community post a video somebody took. Again, I can't verify how real, how fake, whatever. I don't know. I do think it's real. It sounds like it was taken somewhere in South America where there was obviously two suns in the sky. So there's definitely something up there. It's been up there for many years. It will definitely be revealed one day. I absolutely believe this is true. Um Something that's either behind the sun or next to the sun for sure. And that's interesting that you think that the synchronicities are related. I have to think about that. I'm gonna definitely think about that. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, Infinite Quarter says it feels like we're all sensing something changing in the Matrix. Yes, it is changing. It's changing fast. And Loyalty says I've had to allow energy to pass through me. So I haven't been able to eat as much, had to drink a lot more water. The pressure from the energy feels like something squeezing my head. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've similar to me. I've been drinking more water than usual myself. And as far as food, I haven't been eating much for quite a few months. Been on basically a diet, so I haven't really been all that hungry myself. So all right. So we're at 17:30. I'll go till 20 minutes. All right, couple more minutes. Aphrodite says, yes, super increase with synchronicities and what someone says and what someone says in dialogue on my phone. Instant words, yes. Decrease in clock syncs, increase in plate. Yeah, the license plates, me too. And you're right about the clocks, by the way, because I'm noticing I just cannot pay attention to time anymore. It's becoming, like, so irrelevant at this point. I just remember, like, I don't know, in high school, for example, I'm just giving an example, like, looking at the clock so often. It was just like every half hour I'm looking at the clock. Now I don't care about the clock from the morning. It's like even though I have an alarm going off in the mornings, it's like I don't pay attention to it or the clock throughout the day, and there's no synchronicities with the clocks. So I'm with you right there. And license plates, I probably seen 66. Yes, you just said it right there. Blatant 666. Today, especially, today I had 666. I'm not even kidding you, like 8 or 9 times on license plates. Like, give me a break. What are the flippin' chances that that is by chance? Nobody is ever going to convince me of that. Give me the world's biggest skeptic, atheist, scientist, whatever. And I'm going to be like, hey, have you seen 666 on license plates 9 times or 8 times in one day? You'd be like, oh, it's all just chance. I would tell them to just shut up. God, man. All right, guys. I notice I think of someone or something and it suddenly appears. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, it seems like we're on the same page. Nice talking to everybody. And I'm really glad we had this discussion. So, y'all have a fantastic night now. Thank you.